public for the purpose of conducting the school corporation's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. There may be time for public participation as indicated by agenda items or as directed by the president. The meeting site is fully accessible. Any person requiring further accommodation should contact the superintendent here at the school corporation central office. The meeting will be electronically recorded and will be kept on file in the superintendent's office. A copy of the audio recording will also be available on the NLCS website. At this time, if you're able, please rise and uncover for our Pledge of Allegiance. And Mr. Sokolin, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A bit of sad news to start off with. The corporation lost one of our valuable and loved students in Mr. Kingston Lanham just this past week, not even a week, I don't think. Kingston was just shy of 16 years old, a B&L star, and our condolences are with his whole family, and we hate to have this loss. And if you would, just please observe a moment of silence in Kingston's memory. Thank you very much. And again, our thoughts and prayers with that family. At this time, I would ask that we review and approval the minutes of our executive session, which are provided here to the board from March 13th. And I would accept a motion to approve the minutes as recorded.
So moved.
All right, Mr. Sokolins makes the motion. Do I have a second? All right, Ms. Miller seconds. Any discussion related to the approval of the minutes? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion carries. Okay, next agenda topic is persons to address the board relative to the agenda. Don't see that we have any cards up here relative to the agenda, but we'll make sure we will revisit the opportunity to address the board here at the closing of the meeting. Next then on our agenda is our business office, Ms. Fatima Carson.
Good evening. I've got a couple different resolutions I'd like to ask the board to approve. First is the approval of a resolution to transfer amounts from the education fund to the operations fund. And this is an update to the resolution that was passed previously in September. And by state law, we're authorized to transfer up to 15% from the education fund to the operations fund. The previous resolution had a set amount that we would transfer from one fund to another, but based on the actual tuition support we're receiving into that fund, the resolution that's currently in place would fall short of that 15%. So this resolution would let us go up to 15% of that amount and would give us more flexibility.
Okay, we have a recommendation then for a new resolution for updating the transfer amount from education fund to operations fund. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the resolution to transfer money from the education fund to the operations fund.
All right, Mr. King makes a motion. Do I have a second? Mr. Gilbert seconds. Discussions or questions related to this motion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, thank you. Ms. Carson?
All right. The second resolution is for the approval of the payment of claims, and these are specifically in between board meetings. And these would be any claims that would incur a fee or penalty. And right now we kind of have an informal process where we pay things such as the utility bills, credit card bills, other payments that must be made kind of off schedule to meet the timeline. And this would just formalize giving us in the business office authority to pay anything that would otherwise include a fee or penalty. And all of these claims will still show up on the voucher reports that you receive in the docket.
Okay, we have a recommendation for this interim authority for payment of claims. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
All right, Mr. King makes a motion. Do I have a second? Ms. Miller seconds. Any discussion or questions related to this motion? we do have signature pages with this motion and the previous. I assume we need to actually sign those. Is that also right? Yeah.
Correct.
Have you got them too? Okay, all right. Very good. All right, any further questions or discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries.
The third item is for the approval to cancel outstanding checks over 2 years old. In the event that any of the vendors on this list were to come and present a claim for payment, we would reissue the check. But this allows us to clear these off the books and update our ledger. And it's common practice to do it every 2 years.
Okay, have a recommendation for canceling outstanding checks. Do I have a motion? All right, Ms. Miller makes the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, Dr. Miller seconds. Any discussion or questions? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? All right. Thank you. One more.
Lastly, I'd like to ask the board for approval of claims and payroll since the last board meeting, and that's in the amount of $4,055,976.67.
Okay, have a recommendation for approval of claims and payroll. Do I have a motion? Mr. King makes a motion. Do I have a second? Mr. Gilbert seconds. Any questions or discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, thank you, Ms. Carson.
Thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda is Human Resources, Mr. Yancey Unger.
Good evening. Your personnel agenda is a little larger today because we also have the summer school on there. So number one, I ask for your approval of the personnel agenda.
All right. We have a recommendation for and request for approval of the personnel agenda. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve the
All right.
personnel agenda as presented.
Mr. King makes the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, Mr. Soapland seconds. Any questions or discussions? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion carries. Mr. Unger.
All right. Number two, asking for the approval of PowerSchool HR software, and also they tacked on there the student enrollment renewal, and this is just like it was last year. It's an annual renewal.
All right, recommendation for PowerSchool software. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Dr. Miller makes a motion. Do I have a second? Mr. Gilbert seconds. Okay, questions or discussions related to this motion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you. Mr.
Thank you.
Unger. All right, next on our agenda, from our elementary curriculum, Ms. Hudson.
Good evening. My first item is to ask for approval of the elementary field trips for the 25-26 school year. And I believe you have a list in your packets.
All right, we do have that list. Would entertain a motion relative to the elementary field trips.
Make motion to approve.
All right, Mr. King makes a motion. Do I have a second? All right, Mr. Gilbert seconds. Any questions or discussion on the field trip?
Are any of these new locations?
Not brand new. So the sixth grade group this year went to they went to a more local location because the Indianapolis Motor Speedway was under construction over the past year, and so the teachers unanimously wanted to go back to the Motor Speedway. That was a great trip, so we made that happen. And actually, there is a new location. I'm sorry, it's the fifth grade location, and it was determined by our college and careers. They're going to go to J.A. Biztown, so we moved the fifth grade trip down to fourth grade.
Okay, great, thanks.
All right, any other further questions? All right, hearing none, then all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion carries.
Thank you. My second item is to ask for approval of professional development for certified staff members to attend Mount St. Joseph Reading Science Summit on June 25th, 2025, and they will stay overnight the night before the conference and then travel back on June 25th. That's paid for through budgeted Title I funds.
Okay, have a recommendation for this professional development trip. Do you have a motion? All All right, Ms. Miller makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Dr. Miller seconds. Any questions or discussions related to this PD trip? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries.
Thank you. And my last item is an FYI. You should have a list in your packets of the 2025 spring and summer stipends for curriculum and special education departments. Those are stipends that will be paid out for professional development on non-contract days, either after school this spring or over the summer while teachers are off for the summer.
All right. Well, thank you, Ms. Hudson.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. The next item on the agenda, I, is for secondary curriculum, Dr. Erin Miller.
Good evening. We're actually going to start with a joint presentation about assessment.
Okay, great.
This is just to kind of give an overview of the types of assessments that students encounter when they're at NLCS. And the first slide just kind of talks about two terms, formative and summative. A formative assessment is kind of a check as they go to see how students are understanding the material. And that would be continuous. So just some common examples, homework, worksheets, Kahoots. The list for that is very, very long. So I just want to give a few examples. So formative is just kind of a check of how things are going. And then teachers would make instructional decisions based on that data. Summative is at the end. So it could be a end of chapter test, an essay, or a project, and those would be in line with the curriculum map. But it's a total of what a student has learned after the instruction has taken place. State assessments for high school, these are non-negotiable. We are required to do them. That would be the PSAT for grades 10 and 11. That testing window is in October. The SAT school day, that is just for grade 11, and that testing window is in March. And then the iLearn Biology end of course assessment, and that's for grades 9 and 10, April and May.
I'm going to talk a little bit about the K-8 state assessments. And you should also have an assessment calendar in your packet. There's a couple different versions of that assessment calendar for the 25-26 school year. Most of those dates are dictated by the state because they are state assessments. But I'm going to go into just a little detail. I promise I won't get very in-depth on what these are. But the iLearn Through the Year checkpoints, that's a new test this year, and NLCS is piloting that along with 70%. It's been a big disappointment for all schools. I've gone to a couple of iLearn summits, and it's a shared frustration across the state. And the Department of Education sort of points the finger at Cambium, saying that they're the test vendor and they've not delivered on their promises to the department. So we'll see how it goes, but we're really hoping that next year what we can glean from those checkpoints is better, because next year the whole state will be giving the iLearn checkpoints. It's not a choice. They're replacing the current iLearn summative, which our students are taking now. The test window opened on Monday. So that's our 3 to 8 students are taking iLearn over the next several weeks. That test next year will be a shortened summative, and they will take into consideration the achievement on the 3 iLearn checkpoints. It's very unclear from our standpoint how that will actually be done, but that is what the plan is, to do that. So our kids opted into the checkpoints. They did a fantastic job. Our teachers and principals just seriously going with the flow of having to move some units of study around in order to teach that content before the checkpoint over that content. So we're looking ahead to next year, hoping it'll be a little smoother. And I think overall we're glad we piloted it to give ourselves some, good feedback.
The state didn't anticipate that many schools.
They didn't. That's what they said, that they didn't. So, so we did talk about the iLearn summative and how that will be a bit different next year. Then the iRead test, that's a very high stakes test. We in NLCS have opted into giving that test to our second graders even before. That was something this year that the state said all second graders are taking it. There's no opting in anymore. It's a test that second and third graders will take, but we've given it for several years in second grade to give us that first data point and let us know early on who needs to have that tiered intervention as a second grade end of the year student. So it gives them a whole year before that third grade test is what is the higher stakes. It's when they take it in third grade. So there's a lot of new this year with the iRead test, in addition to all second graders having to take it. We also have some different guidelines as far as retention of our students that don't pass the test in third grade. They also have to keep taking the test if they don't pass it until they enter seventh grade, and that has not been a requirement before. Any child who was not schooled in the state of Indiana or was homeschooled in third grade, now if they enter a school corporation in the state in fourth, fifth, or sixth grade, they have to take the IREAD test, and that's new this year as well. So there's a lot that we're still working with. We also are required to have summer school for students in second grade who are deemed at risk, and third grade students who do not pass. So we're planning summer school based on the numbers of students we have at this point, but they also will have an additional opportunity to take the test in May, our third grade students. They have 2 summer opportunities. So we're hoping that a lot of them will pass in May before school is even out.
I had a question on the iLearn on the previous.
Yes.
So there's 3 checkpoint tests and a summative test, so 4 total. How many days or class periods does each of those iLearn tests take up?
It really varies. We leave that up to our site testing coordinators on how long they want to test in a day. The checkpoints are relatively short and can be given like in a class period, but the iLearn summative can sometimes be days. The performance task, none of them are timed anymore to allow students to take all the time they need. So you might have students who finish in one class period, and then you might have students who take, there are rules about the performance task. You can't carry to the next day because they read a lot of information and then they have to write, and so they don't want them to have time to go home and talk to someone or, look up some ideas of how, of what they could write about that would relate to that topic. So there are some parameters, but gone are the days of these tests being timed. So it's very hard to say. A lot of our schools started this week just in case they have students absent, who then they have to make up the test, because those students who don't test, those count as fails. So that we want to make sure we get all of our students tested by the end of the window.
So
And then one of our schools is starting next week. So
the test window, then we don't do that as a corporation. Each building can.
each building can make their
time in
own
that window.
schedules. Absolutely, yes. We do that with iRead as well, though they all test at the front of the window just in case of students who are absent. And then the Universal Dyslexia Screener was the last one on that list. It's a poorly named test because we do not identify students who have dyslexia, which you would think that a Universal Dyslexia Screener would do that. So there's a lot of confusion surrounding that test, but it is a state mandated test that we are required to give all of our kindergarten, first, and second graders within the first 90 days of school. First 90 calendar days. So we have that window until October 31st based on when NLCS starts for next year that we have to have that testing wrapped up. So those are very time-intensive tests for kindergarten, first, and second grade students, and the purpose behind them is so that we can identify any characteristics of dyslexia at an early age. So those are really any reading difficulties, and then we can intervene, because interventions in kindergarten, first, and second grade are much better than interventions at fourth, fifth, and sixth grade. So they are on the right path in the purpose behind the legislation, but it's very hard sometimes to explain to parents that your child scored poorly on parts of this assessment, and here's what we're going to do. They get very hung up on the word dyslexia and think we're diagnosing their child with dyslexia, which is not at all what that is. But the students who are screened as having scores in the range that are worrisome, then we do tiered interventions with our reading specialists, our instructional coaches, lead data discussions with our teachers. Our administrators are instrumental in that as well, but we have tiered interventions that then occur for those students the rest of the school year. And then we do have some specialized assessments. The WIDA test is a test for English language learners, so we are required by law to administer this annual assessment of English proficiency, and it includes measuring an English language learner students' listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills. So that window is in January and February, and it's a one-on-one test in a lot of cases that Mrs. Quaz, our English language learner teacher, gives to all of our students. Then IAM stands for Indiana's Alternate Assessment Measure. That test is given to students determined by a case conference committee, like an IEP case conference committee. So that test is given to students who iLearn and iRead are not appropriate tests for those students. That's a very small number of students. But the window is, right now, it's a pretty long window for IAM because it's a one-on-one adaptive test that needs to be given to those students. And then the last one on this list is our COGAT test. So that's a cognitive aptitude test, and it's a computer-based test that we give to our students. We have been giving it in kindergarten, second grade, and sixth grade. Next year, we'll give it to kindergarten, second grade, and fifth grade, and we'll also give it to our sixth graders so we don't miss those students. But that's 3 opportunities while they're in elementary school to show success on the COGAT test, which is then used to determine high ability identification. It's one part of the high ability identification committee.
I have a question.
Any questions on that?
Yeah, so we have I think this is the correct title, like test integrity policy.
Mhm.
Right, does that apply to all these tests or just those at the top of the page?
It actually applies to all of the state mandated, so iRead,
mandated.
iLearn,
Okay.
and the checkpoints. And that is something that's part of Title I compliance, that
Right.
we have all staff, even all of you, had to sign those
Right.
testing agreements because you are in this building where there might be testing materials. And so that is something that we maintain for Title I compliance, but it's really just for our state assessments. And then there's a couple more here. These would just lie under other assessments. The NWEA MAP growth test we used to give to our kindergarten through 8th grade students. When we opted into the checkpoints, we felt like this would be a lot of over testing. We also hoped that checkpoint data would be more user friendly. So we have really struggled without having that NWEA data this year. To be honest, we are still giving it in kindergarten at the end of the kindergarten year, and we're giving it 3 times in first and second grade. It really helps our teachers to inform instruction and establish small groups for tiered interventions. Then universal benchmark testing is an ELA-based test, so we use Acadians and Dibbles for that. It has like an oral reading fluency component for all students in grades K to 6, so we're monitoring that and intervening with small groups, win time, things like that for students who score low on those benchmark tests. Those are given 3 times each year. And then the last one on this list is the AP testing, which occurs at the high school. Dr. Miller can probably give you some more information about that if you have.
Yes, at the end of an AP course, in order to earn the dual credit for the course, they have to take a test and score 3 or higher. So,
All right. Thank you, Ms. Hudson. Thank you, Dr. Miller. Any questions related to this presentation? All right. Thank
Nice
you both.
calendar, thanks.
Yeah, it's good.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, Dr. Miller, you have another item on the agenda.
I do, yes. I'm requesting approval of Early College Summit stipends as presented.
Motion approved.
All right, Mr. King makes a motion. Do I have a second? All right, Ms. Miller seconds. Any discussion or questions related to the Early College Summit stipends?
I have a question.
Mhm.
Not directly related to this, but since you're up here and you're leaving next. So, we had the summer school on our personnel agenda, and there's a window for high school summer school. Is that where they fit in the window? Is that determined by the instructor?
Can you say that one more time? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so it says that teachers will get paid so much working during the summer school window, and it gives the dates for the window. Do they determine when they have instruction during those hours, during those dates? Is that something that the teacher determines, or do they have class every day during that time frame?
No, the stipend is in June.
Yeah, so,
There's no classes in June.
all right. But this is the summer school.
Oh,
window.
the summer
Summer.
school.
I'm
I
talking
thought you
about
said
summer
summit. I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
sorry.
I was confused. Sorry. I was thinking about the
So,
summit.
They have a window in summer school, and do the teachers determine what part of that window they instruct?
Right. So it's online. So they're answering emails. Everything's through Admentum, and they're responding to students, checking reports, unlocking tests. That could take place at 8:00 at night. It's all the work they need to do to execute the course between those 2 dates.
Okay.
Okay, any further questions or discussion relative to the Early College Summit stipends? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries.
I do have one other thing about the summer school, sorry. We do proctor an in-person final, so they do come in for an in-person final.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda is from our college and career readiness, Ms. Kelly Terrell.
Hi, good evening. I am requesting approval for Cassie Leonard to attend the Project Lead the Way Design and Model Training in Indianapolis on June 9th through June 13th.
Okay, have a recommendation for this Project Lead the Way design training. Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Dr. Miller makes a motion. Do I have a second? Second. Ms. Miller seconds. Any questions or discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you so
Ms.
much.
All right, moving right along. Item K, technology, Mr. Joel Housel.
We would request approval for our 2025 E-rate network upgrades project. So just to remind you, E-rate is a program that allows us to pay 20% of the cost of network equipment, basically. So this is replacing most of the access points in the corporation and starting on some switches that need replaced at the high school. So
Okay, we have a recommendation from Mr. Housel on five-star services and support. Do I have a motion? Mr. King makes motion. Do I have a second? Mr. Gilbert seconds. Any questions or discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries.
thank you.
Mr. Housel. And next on the next item on the agenda, food services, Ms. Bonnie Sanders.
Good evening. I would like to request board approval for the renewal of our food services Chartwells for the following 25-26 school year. In your packet is the amendment. It's a new format for the state, but basically everything else is the same. The first couple pages kind of outline, the increase and some of the fees that they have. The increase this year for Chartwells is 3.6%. Last year it was 5.2%, so it's not as large of an increase, which is good. There really aren't any changes with Chartwells as far as what they're doing for us. Continue to be involved and doing a good job. So I am looking for approval of that.
Okay, we have a recommendation for approval of the Chartwells contract. Do I have a motion? Mr. Gilbert makes a motion. Do I have a second? Ms. Miller seconds. Any questions or discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sanders. And item M from our superintendent, Mr. Kevin Yancey.
Thank you, Mr. Parsley. We are asking approval of the Bedford Middle School chiller replacement install cost.
All right, have a recommendation for replacement of the chiller at BMS installation. Do you have a motion? Mr. Gilbert makes a motion. Do I have a second? Ms. Miller seconds. Questions or discussion? All right. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries.
Thank you. We are asking approval of Lincoln Elementary partial roof replacement with PSG Energy Group.
All right, have a recommendation for the partial roof replacement at Lincoln Elementary. Do I have a motion? All right, Mr. Gilbert makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Dr. Miller seconds. Questions or discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? All right.
Thank you. Can I do our FYIs at this
Please do.
time? Thank you. The first one is the 25-26 agreement for a residential and non-residential service provision agreement from the Special Education Department. This is reimbursement for a student. Mr. Parsley will sign this. He wanted you to see this money we get back from the state. If you have any questions, Susie is here. But Mr. Parsley wanted you to look at that before he signed it.
Yeah, I appreciate Susie had given a summary to me that this is essentially the state paying us as the contract provider, and we're contracting with someone else then also, right, for the support of the student. Okay, I just wanted to make sure the board, I didn't sign anything unilaterally, so. All right, thank you, Mr. Yancey. Thank you, Mr.
Number-
Yancey. Thank you, Ms. Swango.
Number two, I wanted to give you information regarding Senate Bill 1 and the impact to our school. It looks like this. It's probably the easiest reading so far of Senate Bill 1. I'm not going to take the time because over the summer we'll be talking about how to cut 9% from our budget's operation over the next few years. So that's going to be a daunting task for all schools because of this legislation that passed 27-22 in our Senate. So I wanted you to at least read it for you to have an idea. Number three is DEI legal obligation certification under Title IV. This is the federal government wants to make sure we're complying with federal law. If I didn't sign this, again, there's a chance we could lose title funding. I was told by legal counsel that I needed to sign this, so I did at Jasper when I went to a conference. So I wanted you to at least see what the federal government is asking, and we have to have those title funds. So I went ahead and signed the information, and that gives you what I signed. So number four is Playful Pathways annual license renewal and compliance visit. I want to congratulate Playful Pathways on their licensing from the state. It was outstanding. Number five is the North Lawrence Career Center facility usage agreement with Bedford, the city of Bedford. I signed. We are using the fire facility that's down the road. It went through Greg, our attorney, so I went ahead and signed it for legal issues dealing with insurance. Number six is the Follett Software annual renewal. This is the software we use in our libraries, used for inventory and check in and out books. We do this each year. Of course, it's under the amount that I have to bring to the board, but I wanted you to see what it costs and what I signed. Number seven is the Power School SIS annual renewal. The board approved this for a 3-year contract last year. I went ahead and signed it since you approved it last year. The 25-26 school year certified staff inventory survey summary. We give this out to all the faculty who may be retiring or leaving us this next school year. This allows us to prepare. As you know, teachers are retiring and moving to other jobs or possibly in our corporation. That means throughout May, June, and July, we'll be moving teachers, possibly from grade level or buildings. This also deals with what our count is from our student ratios for our finance. So that's ongoing now from May till July, and sometimes it happens in August. You never know when somebody might have to leave our corporation. I do want to thank Yancey for doing this for me each year as he sends out the information. It really helps prepare for the ongoing school year coming in 25-26. Number 9 is the School Resource Officer Memorandum of Understanding of Termination from the City of Bedford. This is due to the SRO retiring in the middle of the school year. I do want to thank the Bedford Police. They are still sending a police officer to help us, but our SRO officer retired, so we are looking for another candidate. Again, because of school funding and how this is all working out, the county also is losing money from the property tax changes in Senate Bill 1. Also, your city, Bedford, is losing funds. So everybody is rearranging what they're going to do. So I am nervous about the SROs here in our school corporation, and I believe they're vital. Number 10, I just wanted to give you a quote for tree removal work at Parkview campus from Hilton Construction. Parkview has a lot of trees that are old back by the track, and they are falling down and tearing things up, and it really needs to be cleaned up. It is very expensive. I can take that out of the interest that we've made, but I was going to get some feedback from you. Again, we are liable if those trees do fall down and would hit someone, and that track is open to the public at night. Also, we have cars that go back through there. I do think it needs to be cleaned up. It's possible the next board meeting I will bring that to you. It is under the $50,000 limit, so I can sign it without your approval, but it is a very expensive. It's amazing what it costs to remove trees today. I want you also to see the special education ADM count. This is funding for special education. There's different categories. If you have any questions, you can always contact Susie or I. It's just for your information. I have some special thanks. The teachers and staff regarding the NLCS Fine Arts Festival. That was outstanding. I was over there quite a few nights. The amount of work these teachers and staff and our students put into this is fabulous, and I want to really say thank you. The NLCC Kindergarten Teddy Bear Clinic. You saw pictures up there of our kindergartners at our Career Center. It's priceless, let me tell you, of just seeing those little kids there and our students working with them. I want to really thank the NLEA teachers that visited the state capitol. I don't know if Lacey's here, but I do thank those 6 teachers that went up to campaign for public education. It means a lot to me. Also, all the teachers that did and our elementaries with the kindergarten welcome. I did have something funny today. I was watching us launch rockets at our elementary schools, and I was at Needmore. And I was walking through the building, and the kindergartner, 2 of them came out, and they said, well, I said, welcome, how are you? And they go, well, how are you? And they say, what do you do? And I said, I work at the corporation. I help teachers in the community. And they said, well, are you Mr. Hudson's father? I thought Mr. Hudson and I were close in age, but I guess my age is starting to show. And I didn't say anything. I just walked on. So, but it is, I love being in the buildings, and I love watching the high school come in and work with our kids in the elementary. It's just precious. Also, I do want to remind people, May the 15th is another board meeting. We have a work session at 5 o'clock for the student handbooks like we did last year. The principals will be here. We do have a board meeting at 6, and then we have an executive meeting. Dr. Gabriel will be here as we go through the finances and so forth. So, again, thank you all.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Yancey. Next on our agenda, item N, is persons to address the board relative to topics that were not on the agenda, and this is the opportunity for you to address the board. It looks like we do have some cards. Again, we ask that you keep your comments to 3 minutes if possible. And as I call you up, you can come up and just please state your name and address. So the first one is Ms. Andy Patterson. Hello.
I just have a letter that I'd like to read to everybody, I guess. It's in regard to what you were talking about. I think it was number 8.
Yes.
I think it was anyway. In regard to moving some teachers around, and I can definitely understand why that would have to take place. But I do have a letter that I'd like to read to everybody. Excuse me. I'm writing to respectfully express my concern regarding the recent decision to reassign Mr. Luke Hayden from his current role as vocal music teacher at Bedford North Lawrence High School and Bedford Middle School to an elementary music teaching position. I urge you to reconsider the reassignment and keep Mr. Hayden in his current role at BNL and BMS. Mr. Hayden has made an extraordinary impact on the vocal music programs at both schools. His dedication, talent, and passion for teaching have elevated the quality of music education, inspired countless students, and strengthened our school's fine arts reputation. Under his leadership, student participation in choir has grown, and performance quality has reached new heights. His commitment not only nurtures musical excellence, but also instills confidence, discipline, and teamwork in students, skills that extend far beyond the music room. Reassigning Mr. Hayden would be a significant loss to our secondary music programs that continue continuity, experience, and strong relationships he has built with students are irreplaceable. Transitioning him away at this critical time could disrupt the momentum he has worked so hard to create and diminish opportunities for students who rely on his guidance and mentorship. All 4 of my children have participated in the BNL and BMS vocal music programs over the years since 2012. During that time, I have witnessed firsthand the tremendous impact these programs and the dedicated teachers who led them have had on my children's growth, both inside and outside the classroom. My daughter, Rosie Patterson, currently she's a student at BNL, has had the privilege of being taught by Mr. Hayden for the past 5 years. Under his guidance, she has not only developed her musical talents, but also grown into a confident, capable young woman. His encouragement, mentorship, and belief in his students have given her and so many others the tools to succeed in every aspect of life. Mr. Hayden's contributions extend far beyond daily classes. Without his leadership, it is unlikely that beloved traditions like the B&L Spring Musicals and the Summer Vocal Music Camp would continue. These programs are more than extracurricular activities. They are transformative experiences that teach students, I'm sorry, is that over 3 minutes?
Okay, if you can
Okay.
finish up. Yeah.
Okay, that teach students the value of hard work, creativity, teamwork, and perseverance. Losing Mr. Hayden from BNL and BNS would not just affect the classroom, it would impact the heart of our school community. We recognize the complexities involved in staffing decisions. However, we respectfully ask that student needs, program continuity, and the incredible value Mr. Hayden brings to BNL and BMS would be prioritized. Keeping him in his current position would ensure continued success of our vocal music programs and support the broader mission of providing outstanding educational experiences for all students. And I wanted to thank you all for allowing me to come up here and talk. And again, my name is Andy Patterson, and I live in downtown Bedford on 14th Street.
Thank you, Ms. Patterson.
Yeah, you may have the letter, sure. Thank you so much.
All right, next person to address the board is Ms. Molly Osmond. And again, Ms. Osmond, you have 3 minutes.
Good evening. Again, my name is Molly Osmond. I am a senior at Bedford North Lawrence High School, and I have attended NLCS schools from kindergarten until this very year. I am here to respectfully defend Mr. Hayden, as it's come to my attention that there is a plan in place to move him to elementary schools and have Mr. and Mrs. Jones take over the choir department. This is not a good idea. Mr. Hayden has been an incredible influence in my life, creating a safe space for all students. Hayden has helped me find something that I'm passionate about, and that is performing. I've been a part of many musicals and other performances, and I am not exaggerating when I say that this program might be the reason that I am alive and fighting today, being accepted into Purdue University, graduating with honors, and overall being a successful student. I, however, am just one of the examples of someone that Mr. Hayden has helped. My younger brother, who is in middle school, takes choir with Mr. Hayden. My brother has struggled with many health issues such as cancer, making it impossible for him to keep up with other students. However, Mr. Hayden's choir class is one of the few classes where he feels normal. The choir program is in part why my brother decided to attend BMS. Hayden's choir class provides stability and a sense of community for students who so desperately require that. Removing him would create devastating effects for his current students. I can also speak directly about Mr. and Mrs. Jones. I currently play the violin in orchestra, a class taught by both Joneses. While they are absolutely incredible teachers, there is a crucial part of their teaching that would be taken away if they were asked to take over the choral department: time. What makes the Joneses such incredible teachers is the time that they take to personalize their lessons, to go on field trips, to take us to contests, and so on. If asked to take over the choir, their already busy schedule would be even more so. And I'd like you to ask yourselves truly, how will they be able to manage this? How will they be able to do all they do now and then some? The orchestra has won the All Music Award for 3 consecutive years, and this year we got a perfect score in our sight reading, which is a first. The band continues to win awards in advance. Our musical programs draw people from all over to watch our students perform. I truly believe that the school's music and art programs are one of the best things about BNL. Sorry. These programs are more than important. They are a necessity. And I would also like to say that you would never ask a football coach to coach tennis or the soccer coach to coach track. So why are we asking the orchestra and band teacher to teach choir? Similarly, you would never ask an English teacher to teach history, even though they both deal with reading. They vary on fundamentally different levels. It may seem like these classes are similar, even the same, but they are not. Teaching them requires a different approach. It doesn't matter how amazing Mr. and Mrs. Jones are, they are not choir teachers, just as Hayden is not a band teacher or just a simple music teacher. They specialize in different areas, allowing them to excel as teachers and provide wonderful spaces for their students. Why take that away from us? Why take that wonderful experience away from these students? As a board, I know you look at more than just one teacher or class. You look at many things as a whole. But I also know you're invested in helping students you care about the kids. So listen to us. I implore you look up from the numbers and look at the students' faces. Listen to the students who you claim to care about and respect. Listen to the voices of the young adults before you today, and please reconsider. Mr. Hayden is very important to BNL, and moving him would be a very big mistake. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Osmond.
We should have sent you to the Senate. You did an excellent job. Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming.
Yes, and please make sure your communication, Ms. Osmond, gets to the superintendent as well, if you don't mind.
I will send that in an email.
Thank you. All right, moving on. Well, those were the only two cards I had for persons to address the board. Anyone else to address the board? All right, moving on then. In closing business, we have our spotlights and highlights from Mr. King. You want to read them?
Gateway Academy. All Gateway Academy students who spend advisory time with us have completed Excello, a college and careers readiness software program. This program offers a whole school approach to career planning and future readiness, helping all students become future ready. 18 seniors have finished all credit requirements at Gateway so far this year. 2 of these are in the 2024 cohort. 15 additional seniors, 12 in person and 3 virtual, are working hard to complete their credits and will likely be successful and graduate on time. The estimated total of graduating 2025 seniors finishing their credits at Gateway Academy is 31. Needmore Elementary. We are proud of our math bull team and their coach, Mrs. Deckard, for their hard work this season. Our PTO continues to support our school through field trips, teacher grant requests, and all of the behind-the-scene work they do for our school. Our Green Thumbs Gardening Club has started to sprout, and our running club is off to the races. This means we have several students getting to participate in outdoor activities, and we're excited to get them involved. Our attendance rate continues to remain strong to an overall attendance rate of 95.2%. Lincoln Elementary. Our 6th grade students participated in our Stress Less for Student Success event last week. Students attended several stations prepared by Centerstone, Chartwells, IU School of Nursing, and Bring Change to Mind Club from BNL. The stations focused on things such as managing stress and practicing mindfulness. Our kindergarten students entered the classroom last week as 18th century pioneers. They have been studying colonial towns and townspeople and have learned about different tradespeople. They dressed up as pioneers and they participated in activity to experience different trades. BNL High School. A shout out to NLCS for the Fine Arts Festival. BNL showcased many talented musicians and artists. The creativity and talent of our students is a testament to the inspiration of both our teachers and the school community. BNL Early College and AVID programs hit the road this week, taking on college campus visits. Students were able to immerse themselves in the campus culture and academic programs. BNL was able to visit Ball State, Indiana State, Purdue, and the University of Southern Indiana this spring. Parkview Primary. Parkview Primary has been acknowledging students who demonstrate positive Panther values. Students may turn in these tickets for Panther Paw awards such as stickers, pencils, bookmarks, stamps, and bracelets. If students save their tickets, they can earn such things as pajama days, bring your favorite stuff here toward the school for the day. Students can even choose to dress like a twin with Mrs. Keene. It has been rewarding to see our students strive for citizenship excellence and then save their tickets for the bigger rewards. We'd like to thank our maintenance department for helping to clear the debris left by wind from our parking lots and playgrounds. The kindergarten teddy bear clinic hosted by the North Lawrence Career Center was a huge success. Parkview students and teachers were engaged in a full day of learning about healthcare, culinary, fire and police safety, The entire clinic was led by our NLCC high school students. Shawswick Elementary, our Shawswick Talent Showcase is tonight, April 17th. We're excited for our students to showcase their talents by singing, dancing, acting, crocheting, painting, drawing, and writing, among other things. Our Shawswick Math Bowl team placed first in their division at their competition on Tuesday. We are so proud of them and their hard work. We're all enjoying the hard work and collaboration of Kelly Terrell and Amy Redmond and her staff, and the students from the North Lawrence Career Center. Our kindergarten students enjoyed a trip to the Career Center for the Teddy Bear Clinic. First graders launched rockets with Darren Powell and his students. Second graders got to learn about welding, health, science, and machines. And Tyler Culver's construction trades crew built us some raised beds for our garden and fenced in the outdoor learning space for us. North Lawrence Career Center. Career Center students visited all NLCS second grade classrooms to introduce them to different career paths. Presentations included precision machining, welding, and health sciences. Kindergarten students were hosted at the Career Center by our annual Teddy Bear Clinic. They rotated through several stations covering health science, fire safety, and how to call 911 in an emergency. Students used their teddy bears as patients to learn how basic care and safety in a hands-on, age-appropriate way. 24 Career Center students competed in the Skills USA State Contest on Saturday, April 12th at Indianapolis State Fairgrounds. Their participation showcased their talents and dedication on a statewide stage. Attending this year, for criminal justice, instructor Greg Taylor, students Olivia Crane and Savannah Wagner. Television video production, instructor Heron Errol, students Bradley Berger, Erilyn Carter, Maya Farr, and Gavin Swank. Precision machining, instructor Brad Gilbert, students Anthony Coletta and Carter Cummings. Additive manufacturing, 3D printing, instructor Darren Powell, students Aiden Hall and Vanessa Thompson. Construction trades, carpentry, instructor Tyler Culver, student Tyler Kirchton. Auto collision, instructor Kenny Turner. Collision repair students Cameron Arthur, Bella Landstrom, and Colt Ray. Refinish and repair students Nevin Rainey, Carson Rollins, and Emma Steepleton.
All right, thank you, Mr. King, and I would also like to give a shout out to our transportation department and our bus drivers who, through all the high water and flooding events, had to go a long ways around and dodge high water, and everyone came through safely and if not a little bit late. So kudos to our bus drivers and the transportation department for navigating all that most of the last week. So upcoming meetings, we do have a meeting, I believe, Thursday, May 15th. Is that the right date? So we will have a work session as stated, and a regular and an executive session that day. With that, I believe we have concluded this evening's business, and after adjournment, we will move into executive session. I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
Make a motion.
Mr. Gilbert makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second. Any discussion around adjournment? I don't think we do that. All right. All those in favor of adjournment, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?